what did I just watch? What what did I just watch? I actually enjoyed watching SmackDown. It kept me on my seat for off my seat for a while. The opening segment, master telling. Not only was it decent wrestling, even though there wasn't even that much of impressive wrestling, it did what it was supposed to. My captivating television to get you interested in these characters to keep watching week to week until we get to the conclusion on the pay-per-view. The only thing holding it back is lackluster build over for Survivor Series to bring relevance to, hey guys, we have a brand split, and of course your mediocre tag division and a lot more other stuff. But other than that, I was ecstatic over the Roman Reigns and Jey Uso segment, over the sense of pride, the emotional standpoint, what looks like absolute betrayal of the Roman Reigns that Jey Uso used to know. Yo, this is how Roman Reigns looks like $1,000,000. And if you guys disagree, then you guys have a major issue. I've had complaints over the Usos once before. Like I called their ability repetitive, but and a bit too lackluster in their attitude. They're just God with the Young Bucks. But I do applaud their acting ability and their showing this for raw aggression over their promos. And I still stand to that day. I had that thing uploaded like 2 years ago, and I'll still admit to it. They Usos have acting ability. They have promo ability, and you saw that back when they were heels. They have captivating ways how to speak, and you see how it was when Jay was like pouring his heart and soul over how it just felt like this isn't Roman Reigns. He did a snake move in a cheap shot, a cheap way how to get the victory so we can say he quits. And Roman Reigns just like melting down Jey Uso, making him feel completely like he's supposed to submit to the tribal chief. This makes Roman Reigns feel like uh, $1,000,000. This is what WWE been missing in the first place to even get this major standpoint on Roman Reigns, and it took years to build over being a bit iffy on the promo standpoint when he was like back in 2015 left alone for a major stride when Cena was stuck like still a top guy but in the mid card, and he was entrusting in the main events. And to now he's like getting this conductive all respect over his heel ability. And I could say, like, one time I thought, oh my god, they're just not doing this right. They're completely screwing over Roman Reigns. They're not letting him speak by his own accord. And it just, and now they're actually making him like $1,000,000. I never hated Roman Reigns. I just wanted him to get better. And look how it got him. And now it looks like we're about to have this huge faction. We have like all the respective, most of the Anoa'i family supporting Roman Reigns. Now all we need to do is Sami Jacob Fatu. I don't think he's related by any of the Anoa'i family in any way, but it would be cool to have like some cooler guys because WWE is lacking in the star department. But yo, this was an A++ segment, full of drama, full of emotion, full like of a lot of positives here in the opening part of SmackDown, and this was only a 2 hour show, and this is more captivating than the 3 hours of Raw. Come on, man. I know commercials and stuff, but that's no excuse not to make a captivating program. So you guys are like feeling like getting a 1.7s are gonna keep you afloat in the pop culture stream. What we see right here, we had a lot of stuff go on in just this one show, excluding all the Survivor Series BS. Next up, we had a Survivor Series qualifying match. Who's gonna represent SmackDown for no beneficiary practical part of it? They're literally doing this for a lack of star power. Like 2016, at least it was the opening part of the brand split, so it makes sense to have the Raw versus SmackDown. But like, when's the last time you actually had a compliance story involving the Survivor Series pay per view? Like, I know I had this same song and dance. I ranted over talking about old storylines with Survivor Series, but it's just not captivating. You had lower carders fighting for spots that wouldn't benefit them in any way. Most of these guys have already been in Survivor Series matches, especially Dolph Ziggler, that's been in three crucial ones in under a decade. Kevin Owens, as a former Universal Champion, he's nearly a Grand Slam. Why or what's the benefit? They don't get any power struggle. They don't get a future title shot. They don't even earn bragging rights over NXT literally winning the series of matches in the last year's Survivor Series. They're not even part of the talking point. So what's the point of having this still continue as like an annual thing? I thought Survivor Series was like an all-star game of a lot of top guys telling multiple stories and making it cool to watch all these dudes in a tag team match. I don't care about fat Kevin. Plus, he wrestled in jeans. Who is Kevin Owens came from still beer belly, coming around with an ugly tattoo, wearing wrestling boots and shorts. Now he's wearing with a beer belly, still looks the same after 5 years in the roster and wearing jeans. Was this a street fight? No, it was a regular scheduled wrestling match, and the guy looked like an indie schmuck that hasn't changed his look. Kevin Owens, he in some standpoints, he's an entertaining wrestler. I know he can do entertaining stuff in the ring, but other than that, the guy has no defining look. He looks like a guy that obviously has been probably CZW champion more than 10 times, and he's coming around just having these dumb, like, 17-minute matches with Dolph Ziggler. No one's gonna pay to watch that. And luckily they aren't. Imagine how much a Thunderdome ticket is than a freaking regular live event ticket if when WWE is finally out of the Thunderdome, because I heard they're like late December they will be out. That probably they'll renew their contract because of COVID BS. So the biggest thing was a pop-up powerbomb into a famous reversal that, oh god, Ziggler kicked out. A couple a couple interferences over Robert Roode. Somehow the former US champion didn't want to be in an important qualifying match to probably make him relevant again because he hasn't done much since the whole COVID outbreak and he had to be stuck in Canada for quite a while. Kevin Owens ends off off of course a stunner from a super kick. That was about it after Robert Roode was ejected out for putting Kevin Owens back into the ring. The story here was nothing. There was literally no stakes in even getting excluded from Survivor Series. That's just my opinion on the matter, folks. Next up, we had, of course, backstage segment involving Bianca Belair, Peyton Royce, Natalya. Why is she still here? And of course, I've, Billie Kay. Billie Kay is just Billie Kay. She probably is a nice, intelligent woman that has some talents about her, but she isn't good without the other. You had two small magnets that looked nice and pretty good together. Why just keep them separate? And it's because it's red and blue. You get it? And of course, it just looked bland. Who's there on SmackDown that's actually going to pull over viewers? Listen, I understand the whole song and dance that of course we need sexual women. Of course, we need women that are going to be decent subjects for people to like, or at least are going to be in a dumb storyline. It's like you can have women that can wrestle. All there is women that can wrestle. Bianca Belair has defining athletic. She's just female Shelton Benjamin. We of course have Billie Kay, that's literally nothing without Peyton Royce. Natalya, that's just there for over 17 years and still hasn't pulled the needle to what else her freaking character is that she's a cat lady. She's the daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and she's a good technician and nothing else. People have forgot like half the matches you had with Charlotte Flair for the women's title, and you have no character. I mean that's what you get if you allow Tyson Kidd to stick your dick in you. I mean that's no one else's fault but yourself, Naya. So we had a three-way, and whoever wins gets to issue themselves into the women's Survivor Series team. And it kind of makes very little sense because most of the women got taken over from Raw, especially Alexa and Nikki Cross. I mean, there's also Selena Vega, but no one's gonna care after she got jobbed out by Bianca Belair, just her debut night on SmackDown. So that just devalues her, like, process. Thinks there's not that many women. This brand split has been completely like out of the weird. But I'm just saying, other than literally the only person benefiting off this is literally just Sasha Banks, because Bayley has been, getting 1.5s, obviously is building up her heel persona thanks to being in the Performance Center. You're an idiot, Bayley. And of course, the match was as generic as it got. I think we had a sharpshooter counter, roll ups, and then as soon as Bianca was stuck with Natalya, it went off to her using her finisher for the match. It using the EST. The match was as basic as you can get it. There was a handspring moonsault for a near fall, sharpshooter, and then I think we got into a chin lock, and of course it didn't end off a tap out. I'm kidding. They fit it in for a win for Bianca Belair. So there it is. Bianca Belair is now part of the Survivor Series women team. I don't even know the beneficiary to even doing that in the first place. I'm being really serious. What's the benefit of having a point for the SmackDown brand? Like, we literally did this for the last few years, and none of the wrestlers have asked, what do I even get to gain off this? I mean, sure, publicity, and it's one of the major four pay-per-views, but like, there's no compromising story. Roman Reigns will face off against the world champion. Most of the stars that are champions will face off against the opposition champions, and we'll just have Rob. We'll just have these matches with very little established stars. So why make it cross-brand matches with no storytelling? You guys literally had a draft middle of October. What's the hubbub about having Team Raw versus Team SmackDown? Nothing's established. This is dumb. Next up, we had Murphy issuing an apology over to the Mysterios over the past deeds he done since changing and over the influence of Aaliyah Mysterio. And as soon as Rollins comes saying that he'll accept him, trying to get too close over to Aaliyah, saying that I'll allow you guys to get married and all this stuff, it ends up with Dominic, after being called a coward, got jumped jumped Seth Rollins until Murphy wanted to get some hits in, and then it ends up with Hulk Fuffle and a brouhaha with, of course, Rey Mysterio coming out. They're trying to attempt for the 619. Aaliyah comes and stops them, and then she says the magic words, "I love you," or for my case, a lot. I'm joking, but other than that, yeah. Shocker segment, they ended up making out, and Alexa's like, wow, kid. I'm kidding, she's like 19, but still, age ain't nothing for a number, but a number. Also, single digits, Jim. You're still going to gym. That's how shocking it was. Like, we had major drama, and it's still an ongoing story from the Raw brand, and we don't even know how the shift's over. All I know is I just hope Dominic and Aaliyah learn at least how to act a bit better. I'm not that captivated over the semblance because what kind of, even a young girl, because of course there's women, of course, going for even men double their age. There's even videos, reality shows, documents that some women do, like some some guys like out of their age range. But it's like he's a man. He's a grown man. He literally was with Alexa Bliss a while, like a minute ago, and he comes around with this now, and he's okay with doing storylines. over 19-year-old. I mean, that's just my opinion on the matter. I think some people are already okay with this. Other than that, it's a shocker. Stereo and Dominic just turned their back because they don't want to know about something like this. And a lot more drama is going to, you know, keep going over the span of a couple of weeks, and it's probably going to involve a lot more drama with Dominic, Aaliyah, and it just makes this whole chain that actually feels like, holy crap, it's actually a televised program. It's not just wrestling match after wrestling match after wrestling match. I'm actually captivated to actually watch what the hell's going to happen next week on SmackDown. And it's been a minute since I've seen that, because the opening several months on SmackDown, it's been nothing but shitty feuds with King Corbin, whatever Shorty G, Chad Gable, Midget Kurt Angle got to say, and just a whole heap of nothing from the New Day. Oh, and Kofi Kingston's title reign. That felt like a really good burger. You just didn't want to finish the final bite. That's about it. So, or what other smarks want to say, because they actually want to think that Kofi Kingston's reign was pretty good. I mean, good for Kofi that he actually was a competent champion. Even though I felt like even James Ellsworth would have done a better job. Because WWE really doesn't care about making guys look legit. You have got a twerking Negro with pancakes flopping all over, holding your world title for over 6 months, and somehow even Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, and Dolph Ziggler couldn't beat him clean. I'm high, and this is just shocking that SmackDown actually captivated me to watch the whole sit down. I mean, I was primarily there for Roman Reigns, but other than that, we actually had more entertaining stuff. We had tag team, I think it was for the tag team titles, the Street Profits face off against Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. And quick promo from the Street Profits, directing over to the New Day, then transitioning over to the Cesaro Nakamura bout, because of course they got the New Day for the that are the now Raw Tag Team Champions after a switcheroo, or we pimp slapped their prestige of our own belts, because they look like Mattel BS pennies you put on your Hot Wheels. So, yeah, the match was pretty fun. Constant hot tags. There was some crazy pounce that had Montez Ford flopping like a giant freaking colorful fish over near the Minitron audience areas, where he went like at least nearly 7 feet, like nearly 9 feet. The guy went flopping. The guy got bounced. And then we had European uppercuts all over the place. Exploder suplex. Hot tag over to Angelo Dawkins. He ended up the spine buster and then the massive frog splash for the pin. The match was quick. Didn't tell much of a story other than we just saw crazy moments. I mean, the last time we saw like a Top Gun hello from freaking Montez Ford, he went flat on his back because of miscommunication involving AJ Styles. Not his fault, but you see what happens when he like overshoots his target. He doesn't scout the area at all, and there's not much of a character because these guys like ooze like lack of charisma as much as they make you think that they're not just this. They're not just PG BS cookie cutter circumcised crime time. Rest in peace, Shad. And we also had involving a promo from Sami Zayn before we even cut off to anything else, because of course Sami Zayn is important because he's Intercontinental Champion. Ooh, and people were like giving positives over to the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, like it's a new look. It seems easier to be customizable. No, it sucks. I gave rags to dirt with the new United States Championship, that it just looks like a terrible template of the previous NXT Tag Team titles. Also, the United States Championship from WCW that got pissed on with the US flag. Nothing was wrong with the original template of the United States title, and nothing was wrong with the Intercontinental Championship design. It was just the guys that were holding it. It's like, oh, what made it better? Giving Nakamura an actual character. No, let's just change the design, then give it to Sami Zayn. The ladder match I had at Clash of Champions was fun. Sami Zayn's isn't fun to watch. And if you see over his murmuring promo going over like over the continent, and then it's like, oh, it's Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. Wait, Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley. He's gonna die, and no one's gonna care. That's how unmotivated I am to actually watch the pay per view. I am not going to waste my $10 so I can watch Sami Zayn against Bobby Lashley with no story. I don't care about Roman Reigns against Randy Orton or Drew McIntyre with no story. I'm not captivated to see half of transsexual males wrestle the other half transsexual males for like a 5 women tag with no story. It's not captivating to watch Survivor Series, man. That's just my opinion on the matter. And of course, we had Daniel Bryan's like, I'm trying to fight at the real Jey Uso. And it sounds like getting corrupted by Roman Reigns, so we'll see tonight, and I'll see if I can force the best out of Jey Uso. That's technically the generic babyface promo. We also had a vignette going over, of course, the return of Daniel Bryan, the return of Daniel Bryan, the return of Daniel Bryan. Oh my god. It's like sometimes it just gets less special, because of course we'll know that this guy will come around, like, making up his BS underdog story, how he overcome it all, and all this overhyped nonsense. Like Daniel Bryan is of course a talented individual. He has calibrates to get himself over. I'm not saying that he isn't good at all, and I'm not saying that he isn't a terrible wrestler. I just feel like he's getting drastically overhyped over most of many other guys that are not as good as a technician as Daniel Bryan, but can find ways how to get a majority crowd reaction. And seeing how we're lacking in viewerships and popularity over the past, I don't know, half decade, I think it matters. So, yeah, that's my opinion on the matter. Other than that, Daniel Bryan, much respect to you. I don't hate you as a pro wrestler. So, yeah, we had, of course, our main event, Jey Uso against Daniel Bryan one-on-one. And guess who came later in the match when Daniel Bryan was giving the hurt over to Jey Uso with a lot of roundhouse kicks, missile drop kick, and all the yes kicks. Roman Reigns came for moral support in silence. And it ended with some counters, Samoan drop, super kick, another super kick, Uso splash. The win goes to Jey Uso. He will be in the Survivor Series SmackDown team. And then he said he'll join Roman Reigns. He's the head of the table. He admitted it. He finally understood. That's literally most of the stuff he said. So it took him the entire time to realize. I just wish we had more like build to this over interviews, but I know how crap the interviews have gotten over the years. So it's just good to have it over silences, have it marinate, have it marinate enough to have it sink into Jey Uso with him being the ever living piss with giving Daniel Bryan super kick after super kick after super kick, another Uso splash until he splashed him onto a commentary table and kept beating the piss out of him even when we were fading off the black. That was SmackDown, and I'm giving it a certified 7 out of 10. And I haven't gotten a 6 on SmackDown since I don't freaking know. That That's how mediocre SmackDown has been over the last couple of years, and I've been keeping it consistently in 5s in my mind ever since because I actually enjoyed watching SmackDown. It had drama, it had really good storytelling, captivating matches. At least they had somewhat of a point. No one gives a damn about Carmella with her butch dyke looking like she has a duck face. Freaking 90% makeup and nothing else except some bone marrow you like rub over your face, you are really not captivating. R-Truth carried your ass over the last 2 years back when he was 24/7 champion. And he still is to this day, and he's still getting way more talks about than you coming back. I thought it was Scarlett Bordeaux teasering a call up to the main roster as a valet, but I know that she's probably not going to do anything until Karrion Kross is back. So that's technically it. Other than that, no one cares about Carmella. No one cares about Natalya. I can care less about whatever Sasha Banks came around celebrating after her women's title win at Hell in a Cell I mean, I couldn't say much. I mean, other than foreshadowing of the chair, came celebrating with the women's title. I mean, congrats over to Sasha. Other than that, I give her 2 weeks because, of course, we know her consistencies of having reigns on television. So that's technically all I can say about SmackDown. I have to say it was an entertaining show, and seeing SmackDown's track record over the past couple of years, even months, over the span of 2020, I have enjoyed myself. There's still some hiccups going over the episodes. Of course, I didn't go that much in depth into the Lars Sullivan interview over him being consistently bullied, even forgetting that he did consistent trolls, disrespectful comments while even doing homosexual porn. But we're not going to talk about that much because I thought the mediocre, not that in depth as much as we had the Mankind promo interview with Jim Ross from back, I think, what was that, 1998? And it's not that captivating over his character, over why he was bullied or why he was given a freak. I thought he was like just a physical monster, and it's like he embraces that he's going to beat the pit. Like he just comes around looking like a sympathetic wimp, bullying midgets. His first opening feud coming into the main roster was not with the world champion, not with a mid Carter that has a decent winning streak. No, he came around feuding with the Lucha House Party. Then what? He beat Jeff Hardy. He's like, oh, look at this carnage. Keith Lee and Braun Strowman broke through a barricade. What has Lars Sullivan done that was at least half impressive than that? What? That's why I didn't talk so much about it. Other than that, thanks for watching. If you sticked along this long, I know I'm doing more longer reviews over the span of this, but SmackDown deserved it for that much. This was actually a pretty decent show to watch with a bit of negatives, but other than that, I have enjoyed myself watching Friday Night SmackDown. Some of my siblings were watching it while I was there, so they finally got back into the mood to actually watching SmackDown since they haven't been watching consistent episodes of SmackDown since when? I think 2016. So yeah, it's been a minute since they've been hooking themselves up to watching SmackDown because there was actual drama involved. And I hope Raw learns the same this DST show. Thanks for watching. That's it from me.